Okay, so this is the Unwanted Epilogue, and I'm Jill.
That's my turn.
And we have a special guest. Your turn.
I'm Jerry.
And I'm Ford.
And I'm Patrick.
So we have a special guest tonight.
This is my best friend in the whole wide world.
Jill's best friend, Jerry.
Yes.
And she picked the movie.
I
picked the movie.
I picked this terrible movie called In the Name of the King, a Dungeon Siege Tale. It was made in 2007, and the logline is, a man named Farmer sets out to rescue his kidnapped wife and avenge the death of his son. 2 acts committed by the Krugs, a race of animal warriors who are controlled by the evil Galen.
Ray Liotta.
Yes.
The beautiful-eyed Ray Liotta.
Blue-eyed Ray Liotta.
Yes, beautiful.
CGI blue-eyed Ray Liotta.
He has crystal clear blue eyes in real life.
Do you think
That's
that was
real.
practical effects of contacts, or was it CGI?
Have you seen his movies? His eyes
He has real blue eyes,
are
does he not?
beautiful, icy pools of blue.
Okay.
They're not that
Granted.
They were
I've
enhanced.
gotten lost in Ray Liotta's eyes before. You know, we've all been
Wait,
there.
sometimes they did fuck with him, though.
But
Yes,
tonight, these eyes were sparkling.
they were.
They had lens flare.
A fucking
I think they
wizard.
just fell for him.
They had lens flare.
He still got it. Well, he had it. I don't know what.
In 2007, he had
They
it.
used to make the best sauce in prison. With the razor blade, they would cut the garlic, razor thin.
It's too much.
So, if you didn't gather, Ray Liotta is in this movie.
He's in this movie. Jason Statham.
What
is
movie
the
did we
watch?
In the Name of the King.
Kang.
In the name,
Kang.
In the name of
In
the
the Name of
King.
Kang.
A dungeon siege
A
story.
dungeon siege story.
You all did you all
Can
say
we-
something different
Tail.
just now?
I said
Can we
tail.
all go
It's
at
tail.
once? Can we all
No,
chorus that?
everyone should say one word. We should just go around and say it one word at a
No,
time.
we should all go together.
I'm gonna mess it up. What is it?
No, that sounds
In the
way
name
easier.
of the King, a
In the
dungeon
Name of the
siege story.
King, a dungeon siege story.
So you want to play telephone?
It's a tail.
What?
You want to play telephone? So you just heard the name. Go, start.
Oh no! In the name.
No,
of
no,
the
just say the
king?
first word.
Oh, N.
The.
Well, I got no name. I mean, we're gonna get it.
What?
Telephone.
What is?
I'm sorry.
Jill broke our game.
I didn't understand.
I
Jill
didn't
broke my
understand
humble
the
game.
Game
either.
over, man.
What was
Game
the
over,
game?
man.
Okay, this is what happens when you watch a 3.5 hour movie.
So this movie was 8.5 hours long.
It was actually 2.5 hours, so 160
Wait.
minutes.
Was it? Did we really watch 2.5 hours, or was that like with our break included?
There was at
'Cause
least
the
6
dir-
hours of battle scenes.
There was
Yeah.
so many battles.
Well,
So
it felt like
the
5
original
hours.
runtime is 127 minutes, and then the director's cut is 156 minutes. So
Is
if
that
that was
what
the
we
director's cut.
Oh no.
That's what you got? That's what you did?
I don't know if you have a choice if you buy it.
What did you do to
Ugh.
this?
This is now.
That's like watching one of the Lord of the Rings movies, like the full-on...
No, it was like watching the whole trilogy in one sitting.
Such a commitment.
And
It was
so
very
much
long.
happened in the movie.
So this was
No.
wait,
Battles were
wait.
so long.
Let's
His
try
name.
and say the name. Uwe?
Uwe.
Uwe.
Patrick
Sorry,
says
right.
it the best.
Everyone?
Yeah.
Uwe Boll.
Uwe Boll. Uwe Boll.
I'm gonna cut
Silky
here
like fucking
to
butter.
him saying it.
I'm Uwe Boll. I make movies.
He's gonna say, my name is Uwe Boll. If you Americans are going to make fun of my movies, you have to say my name right.
And basically, my message is fuck yourself.
I don't think that's necessarily true, Uwe Boll. But this dude has made a ton of bad...
So he directed all 3 of the In the Name of the Kings.
Postal.
Postal,
Blood Rain.
Postal Blood Rain.
Oh, what was it? Far Cry?
Maybe I shouldn't do it then. I have enough money to play golf till I'm dead.
All the video game movies.
yeah.
Because the licenses are very cheap
The
to
IP.
obtain.
Did
Yeah.
he do Warcraft?
No. They spent real money
I
on
was
that
just
movie.
bad on it.
Name a good video game
There is
turned
not
movie.
Ooh.
I
Silent
never
Hill is okay.
Silent Hill was okay.
It was alright.
Wait, name a
Red-
good violent...
Resident Evil.
I like me some Resident Evils.
Yeah, I mean, that movie made Rich Evans laugh for like 20
Hey, did
minutes.
anyone-
What about the
see-
Mario movie?
Mario?
You mean John Leguizamo's coming of age tale? Where he became a man?
So the budget for this movie was $60 million.
Okay, wait, I want to guess how much it made.
Wait, yes.
No, that's
60 million to make it. I've never heard of this thing. I'm gonna say it made.
Do you think it made its money back?
No.
No?
Absolutely not.
No.
No.
I don't think so.
Oh, you're shaking your head. Just hear this again. Okay, so we all know that it did make its money back. All right, closest one doesn't have to take a shot of Skull vodka.
Oh, I need this. Okay, I'm
Oh yeah,
gonna
now we're
guess.
sponsored by Dan Aykroyd's UFO project. By the way, we got a new sponsorship. He's in partnership with Redbox, and we're now sponsored by Dan Aykroyd's Redbox UFO project.
Allegedly.
Skull vodka,
Good
alleged.
folks, good folks over there.
Yeah. All right, so
Good folks, 8%
Jurlian
I'm gonna say, I don't know, man. 15.
made 15. All right, Patrick, what do you say?
15 million?
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with like $150,000.
All right, I'm gonna say went up with that. I'm gonna say like 45.
All right.
Okay. So, its opening weekend in the US, it made just shy of $3 million. And then it was internationally released, so it grossed $10.3 million worldwide.
10.3.
I was
10.3.
generous.
So that makes Jill the closest, though.
Woo!
Yeah.
You needed that.
Jill does not have to take a shot of Skull
I
vodka.
needed it and I did it.
Yeah.
If you can dream it, folks.
If you can dream it, you can do it.
And then, yeah, it stars Jason Statham.
Jason
as-
Statham, the transporter.
As the Transformer. Transformer.
He is a
transporter.
transformer.
He does transform
Slash
from role
farmer.
to role, you know? He transforms from
Not
one role
very
to the
well.
next role.
He's this farmer who, for
And his-
no reason
what-
at all,
what's his
knows,
name?
like- his name is Farmer.
And he is a...
He's a farmer whose
His
name is Farmer.
And he is a farmer.
But
Farmer.
Okay.
he put all his attribute points into athletics and aerobics and acrobatics, so he can do lots of flips.
Unarmored.
And unarmored.
Yeah.
And fighting with a one-handed weapon.
One-bladed. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh my god.
Agility,
But yeah,
unarmored.
He
in-
just kick punches, though. Like a video game.
in short
Yeah,
swords.
Kick
he
punch,
does
kick punch.
that.
But he can't kick punch his way to saving his young boy, who is slain by the pig men. What are they called? Krugs?
Krugs.
Crunks.
Krugs.
We all gonna get crunk.
Crunk juices.
It's gonna get crunk. There's the whole thing is like the bastion of light, the city of justice is trying to stop the crunks from making everything crunk. I'm pretty sure they're just like Puritans.
That is not what happened in this
That
movie.
is.
not
They
what
say, in literally one part, they say, we're fighting for our lives. We're fighting for the truth. We're fighting to not make everything crunk as hell.
Whatever, that was boring. I thought the interesting storyline here was while all this, crunks and whatnot is going on,
What?
King Bort Raynolds has this dick son, Matthew Lillard, who's trying to off him. And
He's
it's
not-
pretty intense.
He's
between
not
the two
always
of them.
trying to off him.
As usual, our movies are intertwined, and somehow Matthew Lillard ended up in another one of the fucking
And he's the
movies
same
that we watched.
role. In fact, he's the exact same role. Okay, in Wing Commander, he's
With the
like
same
the
script,
slapdick
even.
kind
He
of
is.
like, he's the
Slapdick.
opportunistic, I'm gonna prove myself by doing some rad shit. And
He
just
did a
be-
360 ollie kickflip in space.
and just be a total rad dude, and then everyone will respect me. And in this movie, he does the same exact thing.
He does?
Yeah.
This is how
And
his
he
agent
has an
pitched it.
accent.
That he slips in and out of.
In and out.
But it's like...
Like a chameleon, like the
In
actor
like
that
the
he
same
is.
scene will be.
Should we all go around
Partially
and try
British.
to emulate his accent?
Oh, God.
Oh, I'll do a bad job of it.
He did a bad job of it. He did some Austin Powers shit at one point where he's like, do
Father.
I make you feel vulnerable?
Okay,
Like,
can I just say, on the whole, this
Yo.
movie was very sexual. Like, it was very erotic.
It was.
He's groping some titties when he's sitting on the throne pretending to be the king, and obviously
Groping
he's
titties.
gotten
Yes.
some wench, some palace wench, in to sit on his lap,
Yeah.
and he's sitting behind her, like not even being. What's funny is he's not even really being that sexy. He's just
No, he's just.
he's
Like a
funny,
cartoon
like,
king.
Yeah,
Like a cartoon
Like a
king.
small
Yeah.
boy.
I was
And
just
For the first time.
I was into
like,
You were feeling it? That was the
feeling it.
move.
The majority of female characters are at the ever ready of busting out of their frocks.
oh, yes, they're frogs.
There's like
Wait,
almost
what do
a
we call
nip
it?
slip.
Boob tech.
Boob
Yeah,
tech.
boob
The
tech.
last time we saw boob tech this
Bones,
good
bones on that. We
was
both
when
said
we
boob
watched
tech
Three
at the same time.
Musketeers.
We first
was our-
noticed that boob tech was
Our first
an apt
movie.
description.
The
The
very
first movie
first
had
one.
a lot of boob tech.
How much of the budget do you think went into the boob tech?
Oh
Well, it
gosh.
cost 60,
More than the wig
so it had
budget.
to-
But not as much as the costume budget.
Yeah.
You know, I bet we could actually, like, back in the napkin, sort of hash this out because it's some percentage of the costume budget, and that, like,
Yeah.
we could napkin
Right.
out how much that is, like, based on a normal movie. So, like, I bet we could figure out that the boob tech costs, like, really, actually, roughly, like, X amount of dollars.
That
and I bet
person
it's, like, in the tens
is
of
an
thousands of
engineer
dollars.
who went to MIT.
I bet no doubt.
You pay for that.
Whatever boob tech they cost rolled into the cost of whatever other costuming thing or whatever costs about $10,000.
They need to start giving an Academy Award
more
for
than
boob
that.
tech.
10,000?
I would say that the boob tech portion of it, like because they're doing like in that part rolls
It
into
costs
like
way more than that for a genius engineer.
I feel like there were so
Way
many
more
sets of
than
boobs
that.
that were.
And so many,
Yeah.
like, different ages.
I bet boob tech, if you broke it down, cost $10,000 on this movie.
Oh, man.
In this one we just watched,
Yes.
for Christina Loken's boobs, she was the Terminator.
There
by the
were
way, I
about
looked it
4
up.
people that needed boob tech, that had boob tech. 4 people that had boob tech deployed.
I only noticed one boob tech.
Boob tech
Hey,
deployed.
you have your computer. Can you look up who, like, did the fight choreography? Is that a thing you can find?
Because
easily?
goddamn, we should talk about that. The fight choreography.
We should talk about the fact that
It was cut. It was worse than those Bourne movies. It was worse than the Jason Bourne movies where they're like cutting around where it just makes you sick, you know?
My issue with this movie as a whole is that
You
the
said-
director can't edit himself, like, at any stage of the process. Like, the writing couldn't be edited, that's why the dialogue is so unnecessary. And
Didn't you say that it made you sick at one point though?
yeah, I was getting a lot of motion sickness from the cutting. The editing is like, this shot, then this shot, then this shot, then this shot, because I want to include all the shots.
When they're flying around to add like
Yeah.
that aspect of dynamicism.
At one
that's
point,
not
Farmer Jason Statham
dynamicisms.
does parkour on top of the heads of
Oh,
a
there
bunch
was a lot of
pig
parkour.
people. Yeah.
Parkour might be a separate issue. Should we wrap up cinematography and then talk about parkour?
And then parkour.
well, first of all, like several hundred people worked on this movie.
Yeah, I'm
So
sure.
we're
Oh my
talking
God.
shit about a movie that employed a whole lot of people.
You know what?
It turns out
be
that
extras in a movie.
It turns
and
out
also
that
work on the
a-
back side of it.
a lot of these terrible movies employed like shitloads of people because it was one of those like get your friends in to get a paycheck kind of things like going on. There's a reason that they're bad because the people in charge of it weren't interested in making a movie, they were interested in cutting a paycheck and like getting the people that they worked with a paycheck and those people that they worked with down the line a paycheck. Like that's how this business works, I think, is then on the next movie then on the next movie you've got good like credibility and stuff with these like production companies that you've worked with that did the lighting and whatnot because you paid them out the ass to do this like crazy movie that they didn't have to work that hard on. I mean, that's how it works in
You
like
could sleep in.
that's how it works in the business that I'm in now. I mean
That's how Adam Sandler
Yeah.
makes movies.
Yeah.
That's how he does his whole thing.
Well, and if you can get people, like, it's just connections. Like, if you can get people that will give you connections a paycheck, then you build your next thing. You know, it's the director, whatever, is trying to build his career, not...
There
like,
is a lot of star power in this movie, though.
There
Like Jason
is.
Statham, Lily Sobieski,
No,
Reynolds.
but
Ray Liotta, Burt Reynolds. How much of the budget, though,
But
do you
it's
think goes to, like...
2007 Jason
Okay.
Statham. It's 2007 Ray Liotta, where he's, like, way past his prime. It's 2007 Burt Reynolds with holy
What
shit.
are you talking about?
He's
He used to make
beautiful,
pasta
man.
sauce in prison.
So
and
Burt
they cut the
Reynolds...
garlic up.
Burt Reynolds.
Blade.
Let's talk about Burt Reynolds for a second. He's the king, and he's got
White-haired
dyed.
man.
He's got white hair and dyed black, like very
Eyebrows.
very dark dark.
And a goatee.
Yeah, eyebrows and a goatee.
That has
dark,
double meaning because
dyed
he is
dyed
the king,
black.
and he plays the king in the
Oh,
movie.
shit.
Yeah, this is Burt Reynolds. He is royalty.
All right, so
on
what,
the
what
screen.
did I say we were gonna come back to?
What are we circling around back to?
I don't know.
Cinematography. No, parkour.
After cinematography, right? Parkour.
Parkour.
So the parkour in this movie was hard as shit, but it's 2007 when parkour was hard as shit. Like that really was. It was a couple
it
years
had
before that, they
people-
sort of like that was when it became an actual thing. Only in like 2003 or 4 did like parkour become like a thing that was actually like on the internet, and then after that it sort of like got traction, and so this
I know that's when I personally got into it.
They had that going, and then they had the like.
No, but I remember looking at
Woodnam
videos in like 2006.
Vegas
you know?
Cirque du
Oh,
Soleil
yes.
thing going.
The sexy
and
elephant
I,
race.
I remember looking at videos in 2006 of like parkour people doing like cool shit and trying to find more cool videos, and there just weren't that many. So like 2007, when this movie was made, they were thinking like, this is it.
This is dope.
This is fucking it.
What are
And,
the Americans doing in their movies? We have to have the parkour. You jump over things. It'll be great.
That was like
No
this
one will ever
thing,
get
though.
tired of this.
So there were like, just like shitty people running at each other fight scenes, but then there were these parkour, hella choreographed, like ninjas and shit, and
Without
ladies swinging
explanation.
from vines doing that like ribbon yoga
elves.
thing.
That
We have to talk
explanation.
about the elves.
The lady ho elves.
The sexy race of elves.
Sexy.
So
They
I think
were
they
all
were all
women?
Yeah,
Right.
But
Right, and they're like, we have no need for the men folk.
We have these vines and we say, go vines.
They were like,
Do things.
they were like social justice stuff before that even existed.
don't even. Let's
No,
not
no,
even.
I'm
Like-
on
let's
that.
I'm on-
Amazon.
I'm on that side.
Separate.
I'm just saying that in 2007, that was a crazy thing to say. Am I wrong? Like no one was
What do
saying
you
that kind of thing.
So you think $10,000 went to boob tech of the costume budget?
So if you broke down the expense on, I would say yeah. If we broke down the expense on
You
like
bring me a beer.
budgets on where things went and like where tech went, like okay, so like the production budget, right? Just the production of the movie and like producing the effects and the costumes and the like other like sound effects.
I feel like costumes is a huge part of the budget.
No,
like,
so costumes.
Ray
So
Liotta's
so it would
Buddies from Power
roll.
Rangers.
Yeah, we gotta talk about Ray Liotta's
It would roll into that
costumes.
costumes part, but this movie cost $60 million. So that part of the budget would roll into that costumes part of the production part of the budget.
Ooh, he's shaking the table.
Sorry. And so
you brought the
so
young
boob
dick.
tech. You asked me about boob tech. I'm giving
Yes,
you an answer.
I'm listening to you.
Boob tech would roll into the production budget under the costume budget, and that on a $60 million movie would easily be $10,000. And I'm not saying that they put a line item in for $10,000 of boob tape in boob consultancy, etc. But it's part of the costume thing. So if they paid like $60 million, if they paid $5 million for the costuming, we can safely assume that taping up boobs is worth $10 million of that. Like, I mean, really, like if not more, like $10 million on a conservative estimate. And if that, it's
So you're
it's,
saying $5 million for
it's
the costume
actually
budget?
it's actually not.
That's what I was asking.
It's actually not worth a like precise money amount. It's worth the knowledge of where to tape up the boobs in the agency. In the agency's people that's taping up the boobs that are employed by that are hired by the agency. Like, so if anything,
They're unions.
If anything, if you broke it down. No. So like really, it's just like no. Let's break this out. If you said if $60 million, how much do you think is for costuming of the budget?
Cut his mic.
No. Just say how many. Like how much? Like would we say not 10 million, but 5 million? Let's just say let's just throw it out there crazy. $5 million is for costuming. So let's break that down. Like
Probably high.
that goes to like really? You think that's high for just costuming of this whole
Well, there's
movie?
Ray
dude?
Liotta's sweet ass
Like
costume.
they had
That
well,
stuff
there's
came
the
from
pigmen.
home.
all the pigmen's
pigmen.
right, all the pigmen's helmets and things.
Jason Statham has one outfit through the whole movie, so it's
No,
not
listen,
him.
listen. They
All the
only
armor?
had 2 pigment costumes, and they just made them share. They made like a whole bunch
Everybody
of
else
like they
is
had a
got
top and a
them.
bottom of a costume.
All of those samurai helmets from Party City.
Yeah.
If it was, let's just say $5 million, you say that's too much, but I say that's conservative. I think it's probably more. But let's just say it was $5 million. I think that, so that would probably
Fucking
be
Ray
broken
Liotta's
into-
salary was $5 million. Fucking Burt Reynolds cost $5 million.
I don't know, dude. This had
Yeah, no,
this had
these
people. Like this had scenes of people in them that
No,
all had
I
to be
agree.
wearing costumes.
There were a lot of extras.
Extras.
There were
Yeah.
hundreds of people in some
Yeah.
scenes.
Well, in the rubber suits.
The putties from Power Rangers.
So back to my point, there were probably 2 divisions on this that were like the military costuming and the like people in the like courts, like the people wearing the dress stuff didn't have to be like hair and shit. You know, like it's a different skill
I
set.
don't know. Lily Sobieski had a tight bun and
Yes.
good mascara through all of her battle
whole
scenes.
thing.
Well, so that's my point, is if you just break down, so if even half of that split $5 million budget is for the, like, classy people, and then you're giving some percentage of that to, like, their makeup, I mean, what percent, like, that's gotta be way more than $10,000. It's gotta be, like, almost, like, $50,000 or $100,000 is just devoted to, like, the people doing the makeup.
Makeup in this thing was a lot of like spray tan. People were really.
Am I
tan,
wrong,
lots of
though?
sun. No,
Did I just get off on a crazy tangent? You're just gonna edit all of that out?
I didn't want to stop you because it seemed like you were going somewhere with it.
I was. I mean, that's.
Yeah.
You were saying that $10,000 for just boob tech is not enough, but obviously that is a low estimate. Like, if you roll that into, like, the makeup budget, whatnot, for just those, like, people, $10,000 for just the knowledge of knowing how to take off the boobs and people to come and do it, that's seriously a low estimate. Like, I guarantee you it costs more than that, just for boob tech.
I feel like
I thought
You wanna get into
said it
this.
Can we
cost
please talk
more.
about Ray Liotta's fucking costume?
Yeah.
They came from home. That is everything you need to know. Everyone else had a like
He had a duster.
period piece clothing thing going.
he got
on.
his
And
from
he
the
was
back
like,
Diagon Alley.
fuck
I'm sorry
all
that
of that.
I'm sorry on the editing. I'm sorry that you have to edit this. Like,
Chop it. Chop it.
Ray Liotta
His
wore
first costume is a glittery colonial outfit.
colonial.
Yeah, he looks like he's from Hamilton. Like,
does look like
except,
All he's
like,
missing is
covered
the
in glitter,
tricorn hat.
which he will not wear a hat because his hair is his brand.
It is sexy hair.
Jelted right over.
He's the
When we
only
were in
person
prison,
in this
we
universe
gelled our hair every day.
with product. He's the only
We
one.
used the pasta sauce.
Paulie did the prep work. He was doing a year for contempt, and he had this wonderful system for doing the garlic. He used a razor, and he used to slice it so thin that it used to liquefy in the pan with just a little oil. It's a very good system.
It does have like all these like snaps and buttons on the coat.
Yeah.
Is that what you mean by
Yeah,
like,
and it has coattails, and it's like the collar is.
the collar's up?
Yeah, the
He has
collar's
collar up the whole movie.
Yeah,
He's
because then
wearing
the
a
second
fabulous
outfit.
scarf, too.
He does wear a fat scarf.
Yes.
He needs his I wonder if he was like injecting heroin or something at the time.
Oh,
in his
God.
neck, Ray Liotta.
Oh.
Because we never saw his neck.
That's a real doozy.
It was contractually obligated.
That's all about the background of it, and then I just have regular notes that I made throughout the thing.
So do you want to talk? I mean, do we miss any regular notes? Because do those first and let's talk about the back.
What?
What?
If you have any more regular notes about the movie,
I think we need to go over
Oh yeah, I'm done with regular notes.
who all of the
The
character classes are, because
are you gonna do some Dungeons and Dragons shit?
Jason Statham
Yes,
is the farmer.
That's his class.
That's his
The
class.
farmer named Farmer.
So
Ron
you would
Perlman.
expect into what would they call it? Weapons that aren't weapons, like farm implements. That's his thing. That's a thing in Dungeons and Dragons. I'm pretty
Oh.
sure.
What?
From my brief.
That's a
Husbandry?
thing. In the
Nerd.
game.
I don't know anything about the game.
Exactly, Ford. Exactly.
Alright, how about Patrick says some shit that's just wrong?
I'm not saying anything.
What do they call that? There's some name for that. When it's just like picking up farm implements, using those as like a weapon. And then
Peasantry.
what?
Peasant.
Ron Perlman is the archer
Yeah, he's the archer.
class. He put all his points in dexterity, and then he promptly dies because he didn't have enough vitality later in the movie.
He didn't. He spec wrong.
He spec wrong. And then Kato Kalin is a disco knight.
He is.
He's disco knight, and he put all his points in Moxie. What happens to that guy? Does anyone remember?
There's the last thing
The
I
long-haired
remember is he's like imprisoned,
Mm-hmm.
right? And he's
Yeah.
talking to some redheaded woman.
That's the guy's.
Yeah, the
wife.
red woman.
That's Farmer's wife.
She brings people back to life.
No,
Oh,
is
no,
that
the other woman?
no?
Wait,
Melisandre.
so long hair guy
From Lord
plays
of the
points
Rings.
in endurance. Long hair
No,
guy
no,
put
it
all
takes
his
place
points
in a
endurance.
cave.
He
He
endures
goes
through the
down
whole
on
movie.
her.
He does. I thought I
Kato
remember him
Kalin?
fighting it.
Yeah, Kato
And
Kalin
she
put all
tells
his
him
points
that
in endurance.
he knows nothing.
He endured.
He did. What else is there?
They never showed that
Nerd.
guy fighting, really.
They
Ron
showed him
Perlman
running.
fought.
They did some weird things with like the king when SLC Punk poisoned the king. they showed him, he was like sick for a while, and with the other guy, or no, it wasn't SLC Punk that poisoned him.
Yeah, it was.
It was.
It
a bad
was.
I think
wizard.
it was.
He
I mean,
had
it was
the
Ray
wizard
Liotta.
do it.
Ray
Because he
Liotta-
was like, I want my dad.
Ray Liotta made SLC Punk poison him, and also tricked him into poisoning himself.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Twist.
Yeah.
Crazy twist. So he gives SLC Punk the vial of antidote, and then it cuts to the king being like, I'm also sick as shit, and there's no antidote, and he just like naps it off.
The king just recovers. The king cannot
He thinks
die.
about it.
He takes a grandpa nap.
No,
Comes back
they give him
refreshed.
plenty of fluids
Yeah.
and some Advil.
You know,
And they put on his favorite TV show.
He watched NYPD Blue.
he's ready to go. He just binged a bunch of episodes.
He's one of those guys, though, the king, that's like, I'm only going to be sick for one day. If I'm going to be sick, I'm really going to be sick, and then I'm back to work on Tuesday. Like,
King Burt Reynolds does
Yeah.
not have time to be lying about
Bort.
it.
no. So, yeah, he's back. And that might be his downfall, is that he's too proud. Because later on,
He can't be
he
killed.
wears a shitty helmet. He wears a shitty helmet, and he fights in a shitty battle.
He does.
And
That helmet looks like
bunch
it's gonna
against
fall
the shitty
apart.
zombies. This movie was kind of shitty.
It's a bad movie.
This was the best movie we've ever seen.
This was the best movie we've seen. This was absolutely, no doubt, hands down, the highest production value, best movie we've seen. Uwe Boll. His name was Uwe
Uwe.
Bull.
Uwe Boll.
Say it again.
Uwe Boll.
This was better than...
In the twist of all twists, Jason Statham Farmer is the king's illegitimate son.
Oh,
yeah.
shit! Who knew he'd be the hero? Turns out...
You know what? He was the hero already when he threw his boomerang and was fucking people up with his boomerang.
His name was
He only
unnamed
did
Farmer.
once at the very beginning, right?
He did. He was like, oh, motherfucker. Toss that bitch. Took him
He
out.
had a blessing of kings, which is +4/+4. Gives you +4 to attack, +4 health. Makes you much stronger.
He did it.
Yeah,
Is this movie actually Dune?
kind of.
Is it Dune?
Is every movie Dune?
I
He
haven't
goes-
seen
I don't know
I don't know
what
what these
Dune
nerds are talking
is.
about. Sometimes I do.
He goes
time I
out
don't.
into the desert. So Jason Statham, he's the son of the king. He goes out into the desert, becomes farmer, changes his name, becomes farmer. Sort of like skills up in every which way. He becomes like farmer, like
By like farming XP for a long time. He's not actually a farmer.
Carrots,
well,
turnips.
he makes
No, he doesn't farm. He just kills level 1 boars.
no. He creates a family.
He does create a family.
He farms turnips. He walks without rhythm, lest the sandworms attack him. And at the end of the day, he comes back and reclaims his throne.
Yeah.
I think this movie is Dune, you guys. I think this movie might just be Dune.
We haven't seen
I don't
Dune.
know what
we don't
Dune
know
is,
enough
so-
to confirm
Well,
nor deny this.
we
Someday-
just have to take your word for it.
Yep.
We will watch Dune on the podcast.
It's bad.
It's...
It sounds bad. That sounds
Your
bad.
hesitation says
It tells us everything we need to know.
It's not
Who made
It's
it?
not
complete
good.
failure because it has a lot of
have
great
here?
things in it. There's some
what's
great
the 80s
stuff
Dune?
in it.
What's the guy's name who made it?
David Lynch.
Oh, it's fucking David Lynch.
David
It's
Lynch
David
made
Lynch's Dune.
It was like his first big studio movie, and they fucked with
Can
his
you
cut of it.
Can you edit out me asking who made Dune? Because I'm just embarrassed. No, you're gonna
He
edit
would
it
not
in.
save me
Who
from
made Blade
saying
Runner?
Billy Crudup was in Munich, so you don't get a...
Who made Blade
And
Runner?
John Cena
David
is the
Lynch.
dad. Something else.
I swear to God,
Let's
I
talk
told
about.
you.
Let's
Right.
talk about.
Conquerite
What is
made
it?
Blade
Let's
Runner.
We need to talk about
we need,
Kevin.
We need to talk about Kevin. John Cena is the father.
I could have sworn I said John C.
John
Reilly.
Cena?
You said John C. Reilly. I said John Cena.
No.
Oh,
Did you
yeah,
guys catch
It
the
was me.
cameo
we
by The
listened to
Rock?
it.
What?
Did you catch a cameo by The Rock? He was the Scorpion King. And when they put the gem into the pyramid thing and it unleashed the undead.
Are you talking about this movie? What are you talking about?
No, it's none of that. All of that.
I don't think The Rock was in this
Patrick,
movie.
I don't know who made what or what is anything.
Okay, that's fair. You keep useful
Alright,
information in your
Mark,
brain.
you got notes.
I hate this movie.
Keep
It
reading your
was.
notes. Keep reading your notes.
It was hard to follow because so much of the dialogue is unnecessary, and
Okay, so Jerry and I discovered something because we actually saw the beginning of this movie. and Ford and Patrick did not
What? I didn't
get
see
to
the
see the
beginning?
very beginning. So there was this dude with a goatee and black hair
What else would be?
who, at the very beginning, you see him like, he's like, oh shit, I'm gonna go over there. And then his whole body turns to like ash dust and is like blowing away, and his skeleton is there, and then that turns to dust and blows away. But then he didn't do it again. So we're like an hour and a half deep, and I was like, Jerry, do you remember this guy?
And I didn't.
Turning
So-
to dust fire?
I
Jill
didn't
is
remember.
actually talking about Brendan Fraser's 1999 The Mummy.
No! This really happened.
That happened in this terrible movie.
So Jill was actually dreaming about a better movie called Brendan Fraser's 1999 The Mummy.
You know what? If you, for some reason, listen to this podcast, you already know how I feel about Brendan Fraser's The Mummy. So, much love.
Hey,
I
so
feel like
Love you, BF.
it was his
So-
best role.
hit us with production facts.
Well, it was filmed in Vancouver.
It was filmed in Canada.
Yes.
How about that, eh? We should go hit Timmy's.
For a bag of milk.
Get your bag of milk. Drink a bag of milk at the local ice rink game.
In a bag of all-dressed chips.
And we'll have like socialized healthcare
you
and
have
decent politicians
poutine?
and stuff.
Poutine.
Fuck.
It's delicious.
Oh, and poutine.
What are you talking about? You don't like Baron Harkonnen? President Baron Harkonnen?
Oh my god.
That is the name of our president currently.
Yeah.
Okay, this movie was so
Praise be his
boring.
name.
It
Wait,
was so
production
bad. Well,
facts.
because
Production facts.
like other than the stuff I already said, the screenplay and story was by Doug Taylor, who also wrote A Christmas Horror Story and Darknet.
Oh, we have a Christmas horror story.
You own it?
Dubba-dubs.
We own it.
You don't know Dubba-Dubs?
Dubba-dubs.
Oh
Yeah.
shit.
No,
Dubba-Dubs.
don't we have a Blu-ray?
Oh no, it's on the Blu-rays.
It's
No,
on the
Dubba-Dubs.
Blu-ray.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you've seen A Christmas Horror Story?
No, I just own it on Blu-ray.
Yeah, you know Dubba-Dubs?
No, I just own it.
Can you make that into a ringtone for me? No, I just own it on Blu-ray. That would be dope.
It's only when Patrick texts you about where are the fucking groceries. Nothing else. Where are the Dubba-Dubs?
Oh my god. Okay, what else? I got caught up
We
with a
scheduled
Christmas
the
horror
shit.
story.
We scheduled the shit.
What was the other one?
What?
A Christmas
Oh,
horror
and
story.
Darknet.
What's Darknet about? Who in it?
Jenna Page is in it.
She do the
That's all
Dubba-Dubs?
I know about it.
That's all I know.
all. That's all I know about it.
You know what?
I
You
don't.
are
I'm not,
a guest.
I don't watch a
So
lot.
I'm not going to be like
Look.
disappointed.
Stop.
Patrick, look up some
Full
shit.
disclosure. Full disclosure. I don't watch a lot of
What was
movies.
this movie
I watch a
called?
lot of television. I don't
King
watch
and
a lot
I.
of movies. Not The King and I. That's a good movie. This is called In the Name of the King.
In the name of the King and I.
A
What I will
dungeon.
say is our guest, I think, really understands what we do here.
Does she?
This was a bad movie. It was so long.
You should all know there were so many obstacles to even watching this.
Oh my god,
like,
I know.
shit
Alright.
pile of a movie.
You knew what you were going to say.
Okay, so you were talking about this, how clean and well put together everyone in this movie looks. Like there's one kid with a little dirt smudged on his face, but otherwise, these people who kind of are supposed to be living like shit look like they just walked in off the streets of fucking LA and just threw on a costume and sat down. Like they
Because they did.
yes.
Yeah.
I thought it added to how sexy everything.
It's a very
But
sexy
anyway-
film.
It's a very sexy.
There's only one sex scene though. Statham and his wife.
Better show
At
us.
the beginning.
better
It leads with sex.
Oh, what elf sex? Is that what you're talking about?
It leads with sex. That's the only sex scene is Jason Statham and his wife.
Oh,
and it's like
gross. It's
the
not even
lamest
good.
sex scene.
That's why I was like, what sex scene?
Exactly.
Oh,
they had kept
that lame one.
both clothes on. Like all of their clothes on.
Ugh.
Especially that Jason Statham keeps all of his clothes on.
You know
Gosh
who
darn
should have
it.
taken more clothes off is Aquaman.
Aquaman took his
Aquaman.
shirt off one
Once.
time in Justice League. We should
He did
mention
not
this
take
in
his clothes
every
off.
podcast.
Okay, you need to.
for the rest
You
of the
have
podcast.
to. It's like your shame bell.
Shame.
Shame. Shame.
What is
He
the
should have taken his fucking shirt off.
Is there a political party that's driven entirely around Aquaman taking his shirt off more in the future movies? Because that's what Jill's all about.
That is my
He can do it in print, too.
Donate your money to us, and we'll make sure it gets to the right place.
We're not opposed to print, but we do prefer.
If you
on the big
Patreon
screen.
us, we'll get
You gotta
Aquaman
see him pop that shirt
off.
off. You gotta
Right,
see him
Patrick?
do it.
Give
The
us money.
Aquaman
Give us
party
money.
for a wetter world.
Oh, you should be his campaign manager.
Fundraiser.
That's a splash.
It is.
Right
it's
here,
a
right now.
splash.
Oh,
Bumper
take-
stickers coming soon.
We'll take money
Oh,
from wet
shit.
women. Oh, we'll take money from Pinot Grigio moms. We'll take money from wine women.
There's a lot of those.
We'll take money from Chardonnay moms.
Our audience is
the
one
wine.
13-year-old boy in Ohio
Oh,
who's
it-
just learning what swears are.
it turns out that's actually some kid that me and Patrick pay to use his internet connection to just run a VPN through to download stuff so that we can not get caught.
Efficient.
Yeah, efficient. And that's our Patreon.
Mostly
subscriber.
normal stuff, not
Also,
porn.
Jill's mom is technically a fan, but
Yeah,
she
my mom
doesn't
is a
listen
fan.
that much.
She has heard them all. She has listened to every single one. And she often tells me how funny the two of you are.
Oh, Jillian.
I'm fine.
Should we go out with an outro that Patrick can edit into this outro? Should we,
Okay.
alright.
I'm editing you out
What
of the whole
movie
podcast.
did we watch again?
The King and I.
The
Alright.
king.
In the name of the King.
In the
In the name
name.
of the
Oh,
King.
you really?
Oh
Alright.
no.
Alright, Patrick,
In
are
the
you still
name of
recording?
the king.
So first, let's do recommendations. Would you recommend that anyone watch this freaking movie? Fuck you.
Would anyone recommend
No.
that we watch this movie?
No.
Fucking never. No.
No. It's so long.
I can't believe we almost watched the whole thing. No one actually sat through the entire thing because everyone had to get up throughout various
Everyone
points.
ducked out.
It's
Take a break.
unnecessary.
We
so
needed
much.
just
Oh,
little
it's brutal.
breaks.
It was like watching a really poorly made season of Game of Thrones condensed into a 2.5 hour movie. Like a really poorly made though. Just
2.5 hours. That was so long.
oh, so
That was a
long.
long time.
With like 20-minute fight scenes and
I
a lot
believe
of
That was the
CGI.
director's cut.
There wasn't much 3D shit though.
Was it supposed to be 3D? Is that how they made it?
I'm just saying, we can give them credit for that. There wasn't too many boomerangs
we?
flying into our faces.
Okay.
So don't watch this movie. Read some fucking things now.
YouTube trailer comments coming at you.
Hot and fast. Hot and nasty. Here you
Can
go.
I have the name of who it is from first? Because that's special
Yeah.
for me.
The handle is everything.
The handle. I like it.
First, we have Reginald von Lederhosen.
Yeah.
I watched this movie with my dad because we both like Statham, Liotta, and Perlman. This is literally the worst movie I've ever seen. Me and my dad still quote, "Give me the chicken." R. To this day.
Oh yes.
Only watch that scene.
Yes.
Rest of the movie will give you a tumor.
That was Ron
Oh my
Perlman.
god.
Give me the chicken.
He was joking. To be fair, he was supposed to be being facetious, but he says to the guy next to him, the kid next to him, that later dies in the next scene. Spoiler alert. He goes, "Give me the chicken." Like he's gonna like just munch the shit out of some chicken. Like, and that's like hilarious. It's supposed to be funny. Yeah.
It was uncomfortable.
It's
When did
absolutely
Sons of
hilarious.
Anarchy start?
After 2007.
Okay.
Is my guess.
I got more.
I really want to know. I'll look it up.
Stony Stark.
Yes.
Loved this movie.
Yes, you did, Stony Stark.
Tony Stark loved it.
Good.
Joseph Conway. Terrible film. That's it.
What the fuck?
Just
That's it.
look, he gets
Black-
straight down to it.
Black Blade MC. In the Name of the King trilogy was kinda a mix. The second and third were terrible, but this one is one of my favorite movies of all time.
Okay, now wait a minute. Sons of Anarchy started the year after this came
Yeah,
out.
2008.
Whoa, so this helped Ron.
This
Perlman's
helped Ron
career.
Perlman.
No. This just paid bills for him. This just kept. It also kept him working.
This
Like-
Paid for his
motivated
houseboat.
him to go to the audition spot
Well,
for
Get you
Sons of
in Sons of
Anarchy.
Anarchy.
Kept his agents working.
I am
Ron
happy
Perlman had a slow
it worked
year,
out.
probably
Look,
from 06. I guarantee
for
you, if
Ron
you look up Ron
Perlman.
Perlman, he didn't do shit from like maybe
Yeah,
like
like,
late 05 to 07.
I can't name
Yeah.
what Ron Perlman was doing before this movie.
Another movie that we need to do.
Huh.
The movie where Marlon Brando wears a muumuu in the jungle.
It sounds like several movies.
The Island of Dr. Moreau.
Oh no, that's not a bad movie though, man. That's like a film class movie.
When was the last time you watched that
But
movie?
no. See, but that's like context, though. That's like you're watching it now. Like when you watch like the old Star Wars.
Are you defending that movie? Are y'all actually defending
They're
The Island of
defending
Dr.
The
Moreau?
Island of Dr. Moreau.
Wow. I'm blown away.
It's been
by
a while
this.
since I watched it,
Girl,
but
watch it.
it's a film school
Watch
movie.
it.
Yeah, it's a film school movie.
Go watch it.
It's a film school movie because it's one of the worst movies ever made.
No, because
Really, it is.
because it's meritorious. It's got merit.
It's got
Why is it a
merits
film
in
school
that
movie?
Val Kilmer was insane when it was being made. There's a documentary about that movie, about
Right.
how fucking crazy everyone on the set was.
Should we make like a slap cut and do a outro?
What is that? What the fuck are you talking
We're
about?
just gonna sing a song.
What song?
No
So
singing for me.
goodbye, yellow brick road, where the dog. I'm just kidding. No, I mean we should outro though.
What
Am I
do you
wrong?
want us to outro?
Am I wrong that we should make an outro?
We could sing Green Sleeves.
Oh my god, no.
No.
I ended it like 10 minutes ago. I stopped recording like
Cool.
8 to 10 minutes ago.
Did you?
No.
That's not a real thing you did.
I mean, no. I think we should actually record an outro.
That's a lot of pressure for me right now.
All we have to do is just say,
This has been
bye, bitch,
an
bye.
episode of the Eternal Epilogue.
Okay, I will do this. So turns out this is actually called the Unwanted Epilogue.
Wait.
And thank you if you have listened this far. Bless your heart. From me and
Fucking,
Ford and Patrick and our awesome special guest and my favoriteest person, Jerry.
Thanks for this movie that almost killed us.
It was an awful movie, and I'm sorry.
No, you get it. You get it, girl.
Please don't listen to our podcast. It's going to make you crazy.
Make sure you skip tiptoes.
This is going to be the fucking outro.
This is the outro.
Oh, Christ.
I think it's good. I'm proud of us.
I accidentally kicked it off, didn't I?
Nice.
Alright, good night. Good night. I love you.
Whatever Marvel Avengers bullshit dirt. So goodbye and goodbye Hollywood.